viewing people.
I know that girl.
I see Zane.
Hey, Zane.
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late to the party.
That's all right. Party don't start till you come up.
All right, so let's get started for everybody who's watching, right?
What are you saying?
I'm going to kick us off.
It's this cat's birthday.
Ooh.
Nice. Oh, look at
I
that
am not
mess.
bringing this cat to South by.
Aww.
All right, stand by.
I'm bringing
Stand
these
by.
to South by.
Quiet on the set, Cutler. Can we mute him? Seriously.
I know what CZ was going to
I
say.
can mute him.
Like the Gong Show.
Hashtag, that's what she said.
All right, so welcome everybody to the road to South by Southwest. This was an idea that someone came over to me and they said it's their first time going to South by Southwest. And what they really wanted to know was, what are their friends going to be doing? And they just want to kind of follow along with them. And I thought, hey, we can set that up on Google Plus Hangouts. So thanks to Lynette for streaming this live for me. And what we're going to do is every day leading up to South by Southwest, we're going to take that day and talk about the week ahead's day. So today's Thursday, South by Southwest. It's a travel day for most people next Thursday. So let's go through everybody who's here in the chat, and we'll see what their tips are for travel to South by Southwest. And let's start with CC Chapman.
Hey, so so a travel tip to South by. Leave early. Leave on Thursday, because I see a lot of people are not taking the Nerdbird out of Boston on Thursday, or wherever they're coming from. So I think, book early and make sure you travel with a friend. That'll be my travel tip. It makes it more fun. I know 3 of us are on the plane together, and I guarantee if you're flying to Austin next Thursday, there are people on the plane flying to South by, so meet your neighbor. Say hi. Make friends with new strangers.
Yay! I would have to say to pack light and pack a lot of underwear. Just because really you don't want to carry around a lot of luggage. You want very comfortable shoes. You will be walking or possibly pedaling someone else throughout Austin, depending on how much money you've lost earlier on in the weekend. But you definitely want to make sure that you have comfortable clothes and make sure that you're not dressing to the nines. It's a really relaxed environment, and just dress for that. So, and I'm actually showing up on Wednesday because I'm not taking a plane. I'm actually doing a small road trip, another social good road trip. So I'll have adventures along the way, and I will be at the Revolution House on Wednesday. So if you show up early, let me know, and I will be your friend.
Nice.
Then I will talk about the one thing that you should be prepared for, but I will talk about underwear for a second. There is a laundry facility in what's the main hotel? Is that the Hilton? Or
Hilton's one of them.
The one right across the street.
The Hilton.
Yeah, both Hiltons have a laundry facility on the 5th floor, and it's hidden and not known very well. But if you're there for the week and you're packed light, you can go do your laundry there. But that's not my tip. My tip is to have an itinerary of what you want to get done and who you want to meet, because one day into it, you're going to be flummoxed. Your mind is going to be just blown by too many things to do and too many places to go. And as part of that, always plan the one time during the day that you're going to go back to the room and switch out your gear. Because I carry more gear during the day than I plan to carry at night. And you also want to change your clothes for evening because it's going to be cooler at night, even though it is Austin. So that's my tip.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, because the gear is a big thing for me, because I'll be writing and going, and it's I don't really want to bring a whole laptop, but can I get by with just a tablet for that amount of time? So yeah, that's a really good one to switch your stuff out.
Yeah, and the big thing about the trip back to the room also is that you can leave all your gadgets or your second set of gadgets charging or your second set of batteries charging in the room so you can refresh for the night.
Who's typing?
Very cool.
I'm not typing.
It was me. It was my nails.
Oh.
I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
I don't have anything nearly even that exciting right now. I should be sucking on tea. I got allergies.
I have tea.
I'm going to go make some soon. My tip actually is that the casualness of attending South by it wasn't shocking to me. It was actually refreshing, but it was a little against my grain to go in like Toms and sneakers and like jeans the whole time, or that kind of thing. Like, I'm just not used to working and going to conferences that way. But do it, because otherwise you will look like such a tool if you show up in a suit and a tie. Either that, or people will beg the hell out of you because they think you're a VC. But I don't know. For myself, I figured I would pack one decent outfit and one extra pair of shoes, because I'm going and I'm not checking in luggage because it's too expensive, and so I'm pretty much trying to make sure that I don't bring a lot, but I do bring one nice outfit in case I do wind up going someplace really nice for dinner. But most places, especially in South by in Austin, even really nice places are pretty casual because there's just such an influx of people. But so I think that's kind of my tip. And the less gear that you can bring, the better. I mean, multifunctional products are much better than one little thing of everything, because like Jeff said, then your batteries are dead and everything else is going on. It's just too hard. So
very good.
Back.
And I'm back. So you mentioned all the gear. Different years I've done different projects. Some years I've done video projects, and that gets to be really tiring to carry everything on my back with my backpack. So I got this LL Bean backpack that has wheels on it, which looks just like a regular backpack, but it has a pull-out handle, and it's just like luggage, and you can carry that around. So that's really a good thing. I also have those little battery chargers to charge up my phone during the day, but my number one travel tip, which is kind of this fun thing I like to do every year, is when I land, I try and get the bus from the airport to downtown Austin that costs $1. And it runs every 30 minutes, and it's called the Airport Flyer. And here's, you probably can't see this, but there's a little picture of it. I actually put it on my Pinterest board. I pinned it. Why not? I'm like,
terrific.
This is terrible, but it's like every half hour. So it runs at, our flight gets in at 12:30, so I'm going to run out of there and try and run onto that bus and get on the 1 o'clock, and then it's 15 minutes into town, and it costs $1. So that is really fun to do. The other way to get from the airport into town, I don't know if Chevy's doing it this year, but in years past, you call them up and they'll come pick you up in a Chevy. That's their way of marketing. CC, do you know?
I know they're doing a thing where, I don't know if they're doing the pickups this year, but I know they gave me a pitch on letting you take cars this year. So I don't know if they're doing the pickups or not.
Take a car.
Take a car, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's some app they're going to have where you can go, I need a Volt right now. And
really?
Let's see if it actually works.
I'll take a Volt right now and try
but
it.
Who wants to drive in Austin, Except the fact that the panels are all over creation this year, so maybe a car would be in. But I can't imagine driving at South by.
I know. I was looking at a website that showed all the little brew pubs and breweries they have, microbreweries. I think there are more than there were in prior years, so that might be cool to get a Volt and go check some of them out.
Go to the brewery with the
maybe not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like,
I didn't want to say that.
And no, this Hangout is not sponsored by Chevy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it should be.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to tell them that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Zane, what's
Zane,
up?
I want to know.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting that you guys brought up Chevy. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I am driving a Chevy down from Dallas through the GM deal, and it's a convertible. And I told him, I like to do things that are a little bit different when I get a car, so I'm going to just drive people around for fun. And I asked for a convertible on purpose so that people wouldn't be afraid, hey, get in my car. Creepy, Zane wants you in her car. So, top down and kind of fun. But I remember last year how far we walked to get to the Now Revolution party, and we decided to walk. And then on the way back, a little guy on the bike the free thing.
Pedicab.
And it
Pedicab.
was-
The pedicab,
Pedicab
yeah.
was sponsored by somebody, and it was completely free, and I thanked God for him all the way back because I thought I was going to die, and it was only mid-afternoon. So I thought that, getting the benefit of this free car, that there'd be times where I'd just go say, hey, Zane's going to give free rides and use a hashtag or something, and then just drive people around the square or, hanging out the car. Maybe
So can
throw
we
out things.
schedule a 1 o'clock pickup at the airport
Yeah,
for the three
well,
of us?
I know. I was kind of thinking maybe we should do
Really?
something. So I'm getting the car delivered on the 7th, and then I think I'm going to kind of I want to verify it's really occurring. And then I think I'm going to come up with some way to, give back to Chevy because they're letting me have this free car, right? And a fabulous car at that. And then figuring out my schedule and everybody's schedule, but don't you think there's times when we're all going back and forth that it would just be nice?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, wouldn't it be cool if, like, Darth Vader was in my car or something nerdy? I mean, I just want to do something funny.
Chewbacca would be cool.
Like, if I just had, like, somebody dress up as Darth Vader or a stormtrooper driving with me,
Yep, photo moment.
Yeah, totally. And we like photo moments, and we like the stuff that's nerdy, and so, for a tip-wise, then, of course, the tip would be, why don't you just kind of pay attention? I'm going to come up with some sort of hashtag. So if you happen to be available or know some friends who need some help, I'm going to be looking to drive some people around just to kind of give back and be fun. And then the other thing is I get to stay at the social media clubhouse this year, which isn't really an official type place. We're just there, but if you want to go back and forth from there, then you might check in with me too, because I might be going back and forth from there already.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the programming at the clubhouse was stellar, absolutely stellar. Right, Cece?
Yeah, I met the girl who drew the fail whale last year.
I mean, it
That's
was
cool.
I
was
remember
really
hugging her with
impressed.
Julian.
Yeah, no,
and
I mean, and you guys were great on the roof, and I just really, when the time I actually got out to the clubhouse, I was really impressed. I felt like the programming there was worth my South by ticket.
See, I didn't even make it there because it was over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, maybe if I tweet out, hey, I'm on my way to go to the clubhouse, who wants to ride with me, and I just go pick up, 4 people or something. Might have to sit in someone's lap, because I guess.
Or one person in your convertible.
There is a back seat. Quote, unquote.
So that reminds me of a really good tip that will save some people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the East Coast, and the South by Austin time is an hour off. So one year I went to this thing in film, and I really wanted to see it, and I got there, and the room was empty, and I was like, what happened to the session? And I was an hour late. I just totally missed it. So what I do now, because on the Mac and the iCal, I can never figure out how it supports time zones. It is messed up.
And the time zone's changing when we're out there too, I think, right?
Oh,
Isn't
so-
the daylight saving?
Oh, great.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
Hopefully it means
right.
we can party longer. I mean,
So
what?
forget that. So the way I take care of it now is when I put something in my iCal, after it gets in there at the time, I go and edit the title, and I put in the time that it says in the schedule, like 3 p.m., and then I'll have a paper printout of each day, and then I'll just look at it, and it'll say 3 p.m., and then I'll know that it was supposed to be the 3 p.m. time, Austin time. So that's how I do that.
That's a good tip.
And make sure people realize, because people going this year who haven't been before, leave long before you need to get there, because you're going to bump into people, you're going to start conversations, and plus, especially this year where it's like 14 different venues, there is stuff not near each other this year. So wear comfortable, women especially. I learned this last year. A friend of mine wore these hot boots, and she was so mad because she was dead after the first hour. No, not you. No. Christian Brandt from Manic Mummies wore these amazing red leather boots. Wear comfortable shoes and leave long before you need to get there, because you're not going to make it everywhere you want to.
Right. I got a tip on that too. If there's something in a ballroom that's going to be very popular, if it sounds like something everybody's going to go to, they close the doors when it's full, and then you can't even see it. Sometimes they have an overflow room with a screen, but a lot of times they don't. So if you schedule you really want to go to something, leave early to get there early, and make sure you get in.
Mm-hmm. And then you should sit by the door just in case it's not good, and you can leave without raising a ruckus. You've never done that before. Yeah, because sometimes, so you should schedule deep, because sometimes you want there's a couple you want to go to, you get there and it's full, you can't get in, or you get there and it's not as good as you'd like, and so you can bump right off to the other quietly.
Exactly.
Good deal.
So, any other tips for newbies?
Yeah. Well, there should be just the standard keeping everything charged comment that be very careful about your battery life and focus on that just because your phone's going to die by the end of the day. The one thing I've done this year that I hadn't done in years past because the phone I had was on a different network. I had a jailbroken and unlocked iPhone, so I was using T-Mobile, so I didn't get screwed by the AT&T choke point. This year, I was just out in San Fran, and I just bought this. So I'll be walking around at the evenings, not during the day, but in the evenings with my own Wi-Fi field around my body. I'll throw this in a pocket and then just have my own Wi-Fi field. So,
nice description of that.
It's like a force field. Awesome.
It is.
But
I have one of those too, and I usually name it my company name.
and
then people see it and they go, "Oh, it's Lynette," and then they come over looking for the password because I protect it. Obviously, I'm not that stupid, but yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good point to like name it something if
Yeah,
for a company
FBI
to
surveillance
represent.
fan or something like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, because mine is that incredibly long name that came with it. That's like
Exactly.
rolls off the thing.
I changed it immediately. The coolest thing was coming back from San Fran. Once we landed, I had that in my pocket. When we hit the runway, I turned it on, grabbed my laptop, and sent all the emails that I had composed while I was on the plane. And they were all sent before we even got to the gate. So all the work I had done en route was making me more productive. But that's not a South by thing. That's just a cool little humble brag about buying gadgets.
That's cool. So we are coming to the end of the half hour. I want to keep this one to 30 minutes. So let's just go through if anybody has another final thing to say. And my thing to say is, and I know Cece agrees with me on this one, Lynette, you mentioned someone should come up to you and ask for your password. What I want to say is I want people to come up to me, and even if I'm talking to someone, maybe tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hi, Steve, just want to say hi." Because people who email me later and say, "Oh, I saw you, but you seem busy, and I hope I see you sometime," I'm never going to see you, again. At South by, if you see a person, that might be the only time you're going to see them in a whole week. So it's okay to kind of come over, and I will go up to people and say, "Hey," or like if it's Chris Brogan, I only usually see him when I'm out of state. I'm like, "Chris, how you doing? Just want to interrupt for a second, just say hi, that I said hello and good to see you here," and then I'm on my way to whatever I was doing. So please interrupt me.
And don't go to the bathroom first, too, because I remember I saw Chris Brogan at Blog World and I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, "Brogan, bathroom, Brogan, bathroom." So I said like that and ran off, and when I came back, poof, right?
Gone.
And so, never saw him again.
Exactly.
And haven't seen him since. So you have to sometimes make that choice.
The tip I would give, that I always give, is if there's someone you really, really want to see and you really want to schedule something with somebody, the only time possible is breakfast. It's first thing in the morning, early, because once the day starts, you will have a million plans and none of them will happen. So I schedule breakfast religiously. I've had a couple scheduled for a couple months. Yeah. Because I just know I get up, I get it done, I get to see this person, quality time, and then we'll go our own ways. So that's my little hack. If you want to meet people, there's people you really, really want to have a conversation with, schedule it over breakfast because it's harder any other time of day.
Honestly, to piggyback off of that, my suggestion is go through your LinkedIn account, figure out who it is you want to meet with, but then be the connector because, you might want to meet someone or you may know people, but you never know what types of conversations you can help facilitate. I also do it during breakfast and have breakfast scheduled every single day while I'm down there. But, go through that list, people that you know, people that you don't know and would like to get to know a little bit better, and never assume that you know what a person has to offer. And not just you, maybe also to your connections or to, the people that you consider a valuable part of your community. So never assume that you know each person and what they have to offer and how you can help them. So that's good.
I have a little stress buster tip, and it's only because my first year down there I was so concerned that I had to get to sessions and I had to learn specific things and make the most of my time down there. But I learned this from Cece and other people I saw in the hall, that don't freak out thinking you have to do everything down there. This is everything that you make of it. The other thing I heard from Steve my first year was, we're not going to South by to really network and socialize with everyone that we do have a chance to see all the time. Look for an unfamiliar face and someone in the hallway and just talk to them, because everyone has that story that is going to, in most cases, enrich your life or at least inform you about something you didn't know about. So go down there with an open mind. Treat it like a mini trip to college, really. Go down there and just learn from it. It's really cool.
Exactly. Only I call it a mini trip to spring break, pretty much.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing I've noticed since the first day I entered into social media, because I got an iPhone and got the Twitter app, was that it's really full of serendipity. And so all of the connections, and even meeting Steve the first time, and Cece, and even Ja-Nae, and all of y'all really just kind of happened because it was just some circumstance, and it wasn't if I had been where I was supposed to be, or done what I was supposed to do, or listened, or even not just randomly said, I'd like to meet you, to somebody who you would think wouldn't have time to meet you, is what really has made my life so exciting in this arena. So really reach out. I remember when I first didn't even quite know exactly who people were, but could kind of tell people were important, and I would just send messages, I'd like to meet you, I'm going to South by. I was so excited to go to my first one that I'd really just reached out to people I thought were cool and even wrote that. And everybody was super responsive and just said, sure, meet me here, or here's my mobile, and text me and tell me what party they're at. And it was very, like I said, responsive and welcoming. And then just the accidental serendipity, like somebody I'm supposed to meet I never found, but then when I needed a place to crash, I ended up on her sofa without even realizing I was at her house. That kind of stuff. Yeah, it works. Just put it out there, people. Who you want to meet? Sleep on the sofa.
I think I'll give one last tip, and that's to go with a goal. If you go because you think you're going to walk around and go to parties, or you might bump into somebody, or somebody might have a great idea for you or an offer for you, I don't think it works. I think you have to go down there with a very specific goal in mind of what you want to get out of being there. If you're, I don't know, if you're developing an app and you want to get, found, and you want people to know about you, or you're looking for clients, or you're looking for whatever, like, I don't even think that that's narrow scope enough. I think you need to be really specific about what you want to get out of there. If you're going for the panels and the talks and the educations, then that's what you should be concentrating on. If you're going for the networking, make sure that you understand the type of person that you want to network with and where they're going to be. So do a whole lot of research before you walk in that place to find out, because some of the parties aren't going to be filled with the type of people that you may get benefit from, or that might get benefit from you. So if you don't figure it out ahead of time, I think it's going to be a big waste of time.
Okay, and on that note, I think this is really good. So this has been the Road to South by Southwest, and we're going to do one every day up until next Thursday. So tomorrow we're going to focus on talking about Friday, and now there's going to be a lot of panels to talk about what people are doing during the day and what they're all doing at night. So we'll say goodbye, and wherever you found us today, which could be pretty much
anywhere.
Who knows where?
Well, we're supposed to invite people, because I got in here and forgot to click.
Not to this,
I'm not sure
right?
how it works. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, the Hangout On Air, you can't freely invite people in.
You can't just say I joined the Hangout and people try to watch it.
But you would
they can watch it from the outside, but they can't come in.
Right, so on Lynette's page where she originally shared it, you could click share and it would end up on your page.
Yeah, I did.
All right, very good. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. See ya.
See you in Austin.